Hey everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Saturday, May 26th, 2018. Now before I get started, I just have two announcements. First of all, I am doing my June 2018 webinar this upcoming Monday, May 28th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. In it, we're going to talk about what's going on in June. We've got 5 planets retrograde, which is a lot. And we've also got Mars in the South Node and Venus in the North Node, which I think could bring lots of fated and destined changes in relationships and money, which may not turn out quite the way that it is that we want them to turn out, but will very much so, I think, be fated, destined, something that we need to experience at this time. So if you're curious as to what that might be, what it might mean for you, as well as the important dates to look out for this month, please sign up for that webinar at the link down below in my description box. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that my webinar from last month, May, is now on sale if you're interested in just reviewing what happened this month and kind of doing some self-reflection as well. I think that can help. This month we had Uranus changing signs into Taurus, a big shift. And so if you want to hear me talk more about that and go more specifically into some of the aspects, feel free to purchase that at the link down below. Okay, so that's what we've got there. Now, for today, we've got the moon here in Scorpio, which it entered at, or will enter at 8 a.m. Mountain Time today. And the moon here in Scorpio is interesting because the moon doesn't like to be in Scorpio, it likes to be in Taurus. So the moon in Scorpio can bring up some intense feelings. That's why the moon doesn't like Scorpio, because it has to feel deeply, intensely, strongly, get to the bottom of everything, which sometimes can upset the balance in your life. So that's what's coming in here with this moon in Scorpio. Very strong feelings about your life, trying to uncover what's going on inside you to figure out, what do you like? What do you want? What's really important to you? That I think is what's going on here with this moon. Also, the moon in Scorpio brings more of our attention to our deep, intimate relationships, either perhaps a sexual relationship or a business partnership. And Scorpio also brings our attention to money, paying off debts, dealing with money. So that is what is going to be the focus for about, the next 2.5 days while this moon's in Scorpio. All right. Now, right as this moon enters Scorpio at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, it is then going to come into an opposition with Uranus and Taurus. So what this could bring up at 8 a.m. is perhaps some unexpected things, again with finances, especially since both of these signs, Taurus and Scorpio, are very financial. Could bring up an unexpected thing with finances, or could bring up perhaps, how would I want to interpret this? Could bring up too something you perhaps wanting to break free. With Uranus here in Taurus, we're wanting to do things that we feel uniquely gifted at, that we feel we're talented at, that can put our life in a better spot. And maybe there are some things going on in relationships that are preventing us from doing the things that we want and need to feel like we're doing things better. Because maybe we're having to wait on other people, or maybe things are coming up with the others in our life. Also, as well, with both of these, maybe there's lots of money going out and it's hard to find the stability you want in your life and to be confident, having to wait on others, having to spend money to pay off some bills and debts. So there could be some of that stuff that starts to come in, perhaps unexpectedly at 8 a.m., or perhaps that you feel caged in by at that time and want to break free from, so that you can start to feel better. All right. So yeah. So that's what's going on there. Uranus is interesting in this spot because Uranus actually really likes Scorpio. It really likes Scorpio and it doesn't like Taurus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So yeah, I'm curious how this opposition is going to play out now over the next eight years, because the moon's going to oppose Uranus now once a month in this spot. So that can come in. I definitely feel like this Uranus and Taurus might take on more of the Scorpio vibes. Definitely this time around. Lots of changes, money going out, some instability, trying to figure out how to bring stability and confidence amidst some changes perhaps in your life or with your relationships, and really needing to dig deep. I titled my video that yesterday, but to dig deep still today and in the coming days in order to perhaps figure out how to feel better in the future, and to eventually build some more of that confidence, in which I think we're trying to get towards. All right. So then that happens there. The next thing that happens is going to be at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And at 1 p.m., this moon in Scorpio is then going to square Mars. Okay? And what that could definitely bring are some intense feelings, perhaps, at 1 p.m. With the square to Mars. They're not always like the best feelings. Sometimes it can be like frustrations with moon square Mars. Lots of emotions, feeling things aggressively, which can definitely catch some people off guard. I think what's going on here, this moon in Scorpio is deep, it's intense, it's requiring us to make some change, to get underneath the surface, to look deep inside ourselves and others. And I think that's hard because planets in Aquarius don't like to get too deep emotionally. They like to focus. I mean, Aquarius is still a fixed sign, so it likes to focus on ideas, to stick with ideas, and it likes to think about things, and will fight with an idea for a while, but it doesn't like the emotional stuff. And so I think that can start to come in here at 1 p.m. Maybe there's something unexpected that comes up that is frustrating or gets inside you early on in the morning, and then you have to figure out here towards the afternoon, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, how to take a break from some of your feelings, how to not feel things so deeply and intensely so that you can lift your head up and see the big picture and look around and envision more of a future with some of the information that it is that you've received. So that could perhaps be the challenge that comes in with the square to Mars at 1 p.m. is we're feeling a lot of things deeply, trying to work some stuff out inside, work some stuff out with our relationships, and needing to figure out how to not take your feelings so seriously or how to process them more logically at this time instead of emotionally in order to move forward, okay? So that you can envision a future that's best for you and start to move in that direction. Okay, so that happens there. Then the moon chills out for a few hours. The next aspect that the moon makes is then going to be at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. And at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, this moon is then going to come into a sextile with Saturn and Capricorn. And what that could bring, I like sextiles as an opportunity for you to finally, hopefully, get more of an idea of what it is that you need to change in your life in order to put your life in a better direction. Maybe at that time you start to feel like you're doing things that are good for you. Maybe there were some intense things that came up in the morning that were a little bit difficult, a little bit deep. And then I think towards the end of the day, you start to think with the sextile, okay, maybe they had a reason, those feelings that I was experiencing. Maybe I'm getting a handle on those things, especially if you're thinking about them logically. And not just emotionally. I think towards the nighttime here at 9 p.m. there becomes more of a chance for you to finally feel like, okay, I know now what I need to do, and I can start to work in that direction to change where I saw my life going, maybe to change some of the important relationships in your life in more of a positive way, okay? At the same time that the moon is making this sextile to Saturn, it's also making a square to the nodes as well. And when a planet makes a square to the nodes, I kind of see it as being like super important, like something we need to focus on. So I definitely see this time, 9 o'clock, being positive with the moon in a sextile to Saturn to help us start to create more of a life that it is that we want. But I do think it is important, if there are any difficulties that do come in at that time, that we don't forget to make any changes that it is that we need to make, to work with our relationships, to go deep with the other people in our life, so that we can do more of the things we want and need. All right. And then the next thing that will happen after that is going to happen tomorrow at 1 a.m. Mountain Time. And tomorrow, this moon is then going to come into a trine here with Venus, which I actually like. And what that can bring up at 1 a.m. tomorrow is definitely, I want to say, a chance for you to, this is more of an emotional thing because Cancer and Scorpio, of course, are both water signs. And I think there comes a chance for you at 1 a.m. to start to get more in touch with what you're feeling emotionally. Maybe even getting in touch with, since this is Venus, what the other people in your life are feeling. Could also be financial a little bit with Venus too. Scorpio, Taurus, these are all financial signs. So you could also be a little bit involved about that as well. I think at 1 a.m., maybe after some difficult things came up early this morning, 1 a.m. tomorrow, maybe you start to be more internal to figure out what really is going on inside, what you need to do to change in order to feel comfortable. okay? And to start to move forward more in that direction. Maybe because you made some changes to where you thought your life was going or to how you saw your future, maybe then it gets easier for you tomorrow to start to tend more to your emotions, your personal life, your home and family, to rearrange some of your relationships, or to feel comfortable now that you have already rearranged some of your relationships earlier in the day, some of your resources, so that you can start to feel better. Okay, and I really do like 1 a.m. tomorrow because I think it just gives you a chance to check in emotionally and say, okay, did I do the right thing? Did I not? What do I really feel? What do I need to do next? And I think to hopefully understand emotionally what's going on with you, what's going on with your relationships, what's going on with your money and your resources and your time, perhaps in a better way than you have previously, so that you can move forward, hopefully making some better decisions, feeling okay about everything, even if the morning today was a little bit tough. All right, so that's what I see going on. Now, other stuff happening in the background. Okay. I don't know if it's my pen or what that's taking me so long to erase. This is also a bigger iPad too. I can't get this app to work on my iPad mini, so I don't know if I need to like change the software or get an update or something. But I'm using this one for now. Things going on in the background. What we've got going on, I'll start with Mars in a square with Uranus. So what that could definitely bring up, again, some anxiousness, some frustrations perhaps about our life, feeling caged in by our life in some way. With Uranus here in Taurus, maybe we're feeling caged in by our resources, by our talents, by our money, by the things that we're good at or that we do and don't have. With Mars, we want to envision a future that's best for us. I think envisioning a future and letting your mind wander being very positive. But maybe we're frustrated because we don't know if we can actually achieve these dreams that we have for the future, if we can actually move forward on those things, if we have what it takes to do the things that we need. So I think there could be some frustrations coming in there. Also maybe some unexpected things. Maybe people are getting fed up with these frustrations and doing things unexpectedly, maybe even before their time, to feel better. Okay, so see that going on. But again, sorry, definitely thinking about the future being positive with Mars here in a sextile to Chiron. All right, I also do want to mention Mercury in a trine with Pluto too. Bringing up perhaps some conversations, especially with Pluto again, about relationships and money, since Pluto rules Scorpio. So it could bring up some conversations about relationships, about money, about sex, about some deep and intimate matters that need to be dealt with. Mercury in a trine with Pluto can also bring up negotiations, you trying to renegotiate how you spend your money, how you spend your time with the other people in your life, in order for you to put it more in a better place. Okay, and I think that's what's going on. Maybe we're feeling caged in by life, by our resources, by what we have at our disposal, and maybe that we don't like that with the Mars square Uranus, wanting to break free. And I think it's a little bit hard for us to break free. So what we're trying to do is to renegotiate with Mercury in a trine with Pluto some of the boundaries in our life, renegotiate some of the ways that we're doing things, so that if we can't like throw everything out and start all over again, so that we can at least maneuver the situation that it is that we have to make it a little bit more favorable perhaps than it may be currently. And I think that's what's coming in with the Mercury trine Pluto, saying, okay, maybe there's still some things I want and need that maybe I don't have at this time, that are maybe a little bit frustrating, but let me work with and change what I can change, even if I can't change some other stuff that's really weighing on me. And needing to let yourself kind of work that out, finesse that, in order for you to start to feel better and more confident. While that's going on, we also do have Venus today in an opposition with Saturn, so that could bring, with the opposition to Saturn, feeling restricted in relationships, restricted with money, restricted with your resources again, which perhaps is why some of the conversations need to occur about some changes maybe that you need to make, so that you can do more of what makes you feel better. So I think there's some of that that's going around, especially with the Venus in an opposition. I always say oppositions bring choices and decisions. So maybe as a result of some of these negotiations that you're making with other people to hopefully make your situation feel a little bit more comfortable, even if you can't change everything, as you're having these conversations and negotiations, perhaps there are some choices or decisions that need to be made in regards to your relationships, your money, so that you can move forward feeling better. Okay, especially with this opposition too, you may have to balance some of what makes you feel comfortable versus some of what you need to do at this time. Okay, so I think that's coming in. Maybe we want things, well, I want this to feel comfortable, but I have these responsibilities that I need to tend to, and maybe needing to try as well to find a compromise here between how you can do the things you need while feeling okay about it at the same time. Choices again being very important, conversations, getting to the heart of the matter, negotiating things, being very helpful at this time. Okay, the sun as well coming into a sextile with the North Node too, so I do see conversations helping you a lot with other people to help you be happier, even if it may take some effort with the Yod coming in to use these conversations to your advantage, to put your life in the right place. And I think just needing to talk to people, to negotiate things, to make some choices about your relationships and your money here, but just needing to make sure that nothing's getting lost in translation, okay, and that everything's coming together in the way that it is that you want, so that you're not just saying things for fun that can come in with the sextile from the sun to the North Node and with this Yod. You need to make sure that you're not saying things for fun, but that the things that you're actually saying can be put into place, into action in a practical way to hopefully get the things that you want and need with what it is that you have, or to hopefully line up to get the things you eventually want and need, if not right now, then at a later time. Okay, and then the last thing that I'll mention is Jupiter here in a trine with Neptune, which I think is bringing just an inner transformation. Maybe you don't see it, maybe you don't feel it, but I think there's a lot going on beneath the surface of yourself and beneath the surface of the other people in your life. They're changing, transforming. You're changing, transforming from the inside out. And I think that's what's going on beneath all of this, is we're really trying to adjust, to step into some life that we've been changing our life to be since the beginning of this year. I think now we're there, we're stepping into this life we've been changing it to be. We're realizing now we have strengths, we have weaknesses, we have limitations. And I think we're trying to figure out how we can take what we have and make it the best that we can be. And I think as we're trying to learn how to work with our current resources right now, there's a transformation that's taking place on the inside that's helping us to meet the changes in a much better way, feeling more at peace right now than we have previously. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Your card, we have the 5. It's the 5 of Cups, reversed. Normally this card, when it's upright, does indicate we're looking too much at the past, you know, because if you see the man in this card, there's 5 cups in it, and there's 3 that are like on the ground, like spilt milk, you know, and the cups have been poured out, and he's looking at them and he's sad, and he doesn't see like the blessings that are there, the other 2 cups that are full, that are standing right behind him. And I think this card is saying, look, there's no use in crying over spilt milk. Like, what's done is done, you know. We've been doing a lot since the beginning of this year. And it's no longer time to dwell on the past. It's no longer time to worry about what we can and cannot do. It's no longer time to regret, have regrets about what did or did not happen. It's really time to just move forward and to use what it is that you have to your advantage, to see, to see the potential that lays before you. I'm not gonna lie, with Mars on the South Node for like the next 3 months, it's a long time. It may be very hard for us to make progress, to do the things that it is that we want and need. And I think the message of what's gonna happen the next few months is to not try to make progress, and to just wait to receive, to see what comes, and to feel things out moving forward, and to appreciate what it is that you have, to appreciate where you are right now in life, this moment as it stands, before we can start to move forward once again. Okay, I really do feel like there was so much that we were trying to do to manifest at the beginning of this year to make our lives like the best they could be. And I really do believe that these next few months are a time for you to let your insides catch up to these changes that you've manifested, to build more stability into your life with all the things that it is that you can occur before you move on. And if you keep having regrets about things that you did or didn't do that you can no longer change, and if you keep looking back on things, then you're never going to be able to use what it is that you currently have and to make it the best that it can be. And I think that's what this card is saying. Let go of the past and see the opportunity and the potential that is right before you, because I think there's more there than maybe what meets the eye. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you liked it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I will talk to you later.